Hey everybody, and welcome to TFN's first Company of Heroes 2 video update, where we will be talking about some recent news for the past month or so when it comes to Company of Heroes 2 and Relic. And first off, the most obvious news is, which we have actually covered in previous episodes of Frontline Fatalities, is that THQ went bankrupt, sold off all of their assets and all of their studios, and Relic was actually acquired by SEGA. And SEGA has actually, for the first time, come out with some proper official news. What is that, Tommy?
That's right. This is the first major announcement they've made. They put a bit of an update on their blog, which was basically just a repost of what had already been said by one of the Relic employees. This was last week, just saying that there is a beta coming soon and that there will be updates soon and there are lots of things happening soon. But one of the most important updates came just a few minutes ago, and that was that the release date officially for Company of Heroes 2 has been pushed back to June the 25th of this year. Now, this news is actually, we at TFN think actually this is very good, because it means that if the game had been released at its original release date, which would have been sometime within probably the next 30 days, if it was still THQ running the show, then they probably would have released a game that was in a fairly unfinished or undesirable state. So this is going to give them the time, hopefully, to adjust some of the things that we didn't like about the alpha and sort of incorporate a few extra features like observer mode and some cool stuff like that. But this is all speculation.
Yeah, obviously that's all speculation, but I think it's actually good news that they pushed it back. I was expecting them to push it back, you know, either way. Even before I got this news today, I was just expecting them. It's like there's just no way that with THQ going bankrupt, Relic being acquired by Sega, and all of the stuff happening around, that they will release a game within the next 30 days or so. It's just not plausible to do that. And, as many people who played the alpha, had complaints, and there were things, and it felt a little bit rushed. And hopefully with the extended time before release, they can actually polish the game properly this time. And hopefully we'll end up with a great end product. And that's going to be blatantly just totally awesome. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping for. But also, in other news, for people that doesn't already know, is that Lynx is back as the community manager for Relic and Company of Heroes 2, which is really good. We all like Lynx, and he's been good with the community. He's communicating with us when he can, when he gets any news, and he's actually taken control of the official Company of Heroes Twitter again, and it's been very active recently as since he was reinstated as the community manager for Company of Heroes. So that's always nice to see. And if you're interested, you can always go check out our channel page on YouTube. There's a link in the header there for our Twitter, where we retweet most of the important things that goes on the Company of Heroes Twitter, because he's having conversations with people all over the place, and the Twitter can get a little bit clustered, and sometimes you miss some of the important news. But we try to pinpoint the ones that are really important. And one of the things that actually came out on the Twitter a few days ago, I think 2 or so days ago, was an update about the forums, wasn't it, Tommy?
Yeah, that's right, because it's not only the game that's getting a transformation, the official forums over at Company of Heroes 2, in fact, just companyofheroes.com, they are getting revamped, and they're actually down at this point, closed off, which is probably unfortunate for a lot of fans who really want to go out and discuss this big news that's just come out. But what's happening is they're shifting those servers over to Sega, and there is also news that they're going to be doing a revamp at some point in the near future, because the forums, as I'm sure any of you who have used them, know that they are pretty horrible from a technical standpoint, but hopefully they're going to be getting an upgrade in the coming weeks.
Yeah, those forums are getting kind of old, and they need a new software update. That would be pretty good, because it's most likely gonna introduce a lot of new players to that forum when Company of Heroes 2 is released, because the player base will just expand, and there will be loads of new players, and they will seek some form of information in forums, even if it's on the official forums of companyofheroes.com, or if it's on the code2.org webpage, or on game replays. There's gonna be a new surge a new surge of players and new fans for the Company of Heroes franchise, most likely. So I think the official forums needs a bit of a software upgrade to handle the new pressure, most likely. But also don't forget that the closed multiplayer beta is still happening. That's also been more or less confirmed, but there's no date so far as we know. But the new release date of 25th of June for the retail release, at this time at least, is very promising news, I think.
Yeah, it's very good, and they have hinted at, with regards to the closed multiplayer beta, that they will be starting quite early. They're going to be trying to run a long multiplayer beta because they know how committed the community is to really getting a good balanced game by the time that it ships to retail. It's very unlikely that it's going to be completely balanced, but hopefully we can get it to a really good state of balance by the time that it ships.
Yeah, that's hopefully we can make it work as much as possible. There's always going to be some hidden things somewhere that no one realized until some crazy person comes along and starts spamming one type of unit or something, and just breaks the game. But
Yeah.
you can't find everything in betas, and there's going to be the closed beta, as we said, and maybe even if they start the closed beta soonish. Maybe there's even a possibility for an open beta, because I think that's what they didn't really mention before when THQ was running the show. They just said that basically everybody would get beta access if you pre-ordered, or if you got into the alpha, you'd still get into the beta. And I read something, I think Lynx was talking on the official forums before they went down due to the server transfer, that everybody that was in the alpha will still be in the beta now, even though they have switched hand from THQ to SEGA. Apparently, alpha players will still be in the beta as well. So
yeah, they
that's
are
always
holding
good to hear.
true to that promise, and
That's
they've
good.
actually said that all the people who pre-ordered as well, you will still have access to the beta as well. So Sega is going to keep that promise.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I hope you guys enjoyed this piece of news from Company of Heroes 2. Me and Tommy are very excited for the new release date of the 25th of June, and hopefully the game will be really polished by that point. And we'll keep posting these smaller update videos if there's some very important news that came out. And we thought that this news with the proper, because everybody's just sitting around asking, so is there any news? Is there any news? Is there any news? Like every day I see people asking on the forums if there's any form of news for Company of Heroes 2. And now there was actually news. And for me and Tommy, this is good news that it was pushed back, because that means more time for the game to get properly programmed and properly polished. So we thought that we'll make a small video of this, because this news is actually really important. So stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment here of what you think about the new release date. And we'll see you guys for future episodes.
See you guys.